What is the Biu Jee form? Is it a more advanced fighting form? No. Biu Jee is a springboard to getting back to the center if you lose it. The Biu Jee form teaches you if your opponent's running over you, you get knocked off the center, how to come back. All right? Collapsing hands. Biu Jee is a powerful form, but it's not made to open with in a fight. It's a reserve parachute. So if you screw up, you can get the center line back. Now, Chum Kiu operates side to side. Biu Jee, as far as the elbows go, are going to be more vertical. Almost vertical. There's a little angle there. The Biu Jee hands come over into this position. It's kind of strange, hard to see this angle. One hand is under here because this little contraption right here, see? From the side. Biu Jee is shooting fingers. Very dangerous to play with. Don't do it in Chi Sao. Don't do Bu Sao in Chi Sao. Now, opponents should be able to block, but this is dangerous, and it's also disrespectful. You could put someone's eye out. So, Biu Jee, if you want to train like that, put some goggles on. Then you can go for the eyes all day. This is how you do it responsibly. All right? So, Biu Jee not being the default fighting form. Default. Definitely fighting, made for killing, not the default, which means you don't open with it. It's a reserve in case you need it. The late Grandmaster Moyot referred to Biu Jee as standard compass. Your opponent's center line pulls your center line to the north. True north is your opponent's center, your opponent. So if you get knocked off the center line, your center is magnetically constantly pushing north and driving forward into your opponent's center. Now in Chum Kiu, which is the fighting form, Chum Kiu, the wooden dummy, Chi Sao drills, random Chi Sao, long range, all these things contribute far more to actual combat opening than the Biu Jee form. So remember that. So Mun Sao exists in Chum Kiu and Biu Jee. Mun Sao is asking hand. Where is your opponent's energy? All you need to do is make contact to feel your opponent. When I was 14 and I started Wing Chun, one of my Sihing's older brothers was blind 100%. One eye was dead, the other was glass. And he kicked my ass up and down the school every time we worked out. The better I got, the better he got. He was far more sensitive than most of the students in the class because he was blind. He learned forms like that. So for being blind, Wing Chun is probably one of the best styles. Sticking styles where you're making contact. Jiu-Jitsu is another one. Someone who's blind will be very good at that. As long as you're stuck to your opponent, your eyes can close because you can feel. But even with Wing Chun, if you're not touching your opponent, do not practice blindfolded. All right? Bong on Chi Sao is blindfolded Chi Sao. Further than that, my second Sifu used to turn off the lights when we come to class. So all night we're doing Chi Sao in the dark. All right, now Chi Sao is composed of 3 techniques. Fuk Sao, Bong Sao, and Tan Sao. Now there's 2 Fuk variations that you can see. Some Fuk Saos are like this. Others are this way or this way. I use both Fuk Saos. The crane's Fuk Sao, crane beak Fuk Sao, and the snakehead Fuk Sao. You have excellent coverage over the center line with this Fuk Sao. Fuk Sao means controlling with the palm, controlling your opponent with your palm, right? Now this can be done this way too, depending on the angle of your hand. So Wing Chun, remember, is a short range system made for specific close quarters. And it has a bad rap because a lot of people don't understand it and they try to use it where it's not made to work. And they get creamed, and people of lesser intelligence just assume that it's just a BS style. But I assure you, anyone who's ever been hit with a solid Wing Chun blow will feel it. It'll rock your world. I've been knocked around. I had multiple injuries when I was younger from Wing Chun because the guys I practiced with were better, way powerful, very strong, solid stances. So there is no dance around light, airy-fairy stuff in Wing Chun, unless it's a school that doesn't really understand it, not fully developed. So it's not that it's not effective at all. It's only made for certain environments, and people place expectations on it. I don't know if you guys saw this fight long time ago. Some guy claimed to do Wing Chun, and he went into the UFC. Big mistake. That ring is way too big for Wing Chun. That ring is huge. It's like, might as well be on a soccer field. Too much room to close the gap. Your opponent can move left or right. Not a good idea. Versus in a tight hallway, smaller spaces, there you go. Now the same thing with jiu-jitsu or any form of grappling. If your opponent's movement is restricted inside of a small space, the grappler is more likely to get a hold of him and take him down. Out on a soccer field with an opponent that can move back and fire and move around all day, much harder for the grappler, just like Wing Chun. Not the best place for it. Now, it all depends on your technique and your skill. I'm not saying that this is impossible. You may be able to pull it off. It's just a lot harder. All right, if you found this video on the Biu Jee form, Mun Sao, Chung Q, if you found this effective, click the like button. Even better, subscribe. Even better, Patreon. And by the way, we appreciate all the new subscribers. We're jumping. We're going up pretty high. Let's get the likes up. Seafood Less Clements out.